For more than 70 years, the term Men in Black has lingered in the shadows of human imagination like an echo refusing to fade. They are described as faceless enforcers of secrecy, men who surface only when forbidden knowledge threatens to reach public light. Their existence is neither officially confirmed nor convincingly denied, and that ambiguity is precisely what fuels the fear around them. Unlike typical conspiracies rooted in speculation or folklore, Men in Black reports emerge from high-ranking military witnesses, pilots, scientists, journalists, and everyday civilians. People with everything to lose and nothing to gain from inventing stories. When a UFO is sighted, when debris falls from the sky, when something unexplainable disrupts our perception of the world, they appear, not with dramatic entrances or flashing badges, but quietly, like a shadow that simply was not there moments before. This documentary explores the full scale of their presence, from the first strange encounter in 1947 to modern-day surveillance reports. Missing whistleblowers erased evidence, and the chilling possibility that these men may not be human at all. The year 1947 is often remembered for Roswell, but the real beginning traces back months earlier to Maury Island, Washington, where harbor worker Harold Dahl witnessed 6 metallic discs hovering silently above Puget Sound. One of the craft released molten fragments that damaged his boat, injured his son, and killed his dog. The story should have ended as another local rumor, until the next morning, when Dahl met a man dressed head to toe in black. The stranger knew everything: Dahl's name, his family, his report, even details Dahl had kept to himself. He spoke calmly, yet every sentence felt like a veiled threat. He told Dahl he had seen something he was never meant to witness, and sharing his story would cost him more than he could imagine. Dahl later recounted that the man's tone was not angry. It was final, like instructions from someone who already controlled the outcome. When Dahl attempted to investigate further, his partner mysteriously died in a plane explosion while transporting evidence. Documents vanished. Photos disappeared, and the Men in Black quietly dissolved into history. But this was only the opening move in a much bigger operation. What followed the Maury Island event was a pattern so consistent and so global that it became impossible to dismiss as coincidence. Throughout the late 1940s and into the 50s, UFO sightings surged worldwide, and with each credible report came uninvited visitors, always in black suits, always knowing too much, always appearing with impossible timing. Witnesses described them with unnerving consistency: tall or eerily identical in height, skin unusually pale or strangely smooth, movements too perfect, voices mechanical or emotionless. They would ask questions as if they were learning to mimic human behavior rather than naturally possessing it. Some offered warnings. Others confiscated evidence. A few simply stared silently, as if absorbing information rather than delivering it. People described feeling watched for days or weeks after their visits. Phone lines clicked as though tapped. Strangers stood outside homes at night, motionless, observing. These men were not merely visitors. They were custodians, monitoring, controlling, suppressing. One of the most defining encounters came from researcher Albert K. Bender, founder of the International Flying Saucer Bureau. Bender wasn't just curious, he was relentless. He collected sightings, decoded government telegrams, and uncovered patterns linking strange aircraft to restricted military airspace. In 1953, he reported being on the verge of publishing findings that would expose something monumental. But before the report was ever printed, 3 men in black appeared in his home. Bender later described overwhelming fear without physical threat, a telepathic pressure in the skull, and a sensation like the room lost oxygen. The men did not speak like humans. They projected ideas into his mind, visions of crashes, retrieval teams, biological entities, and underground facilities storing unearthly technology. After this encounter, Bender abruptly dissolved his organization, burned remaining documents, and vanished from public research. When he finally resurfaced, he admitted the men were not human. They were on Earth for reasons beyond government, something cosmic, ancient, and deeply intertwined with our species. If Bender told the truth, the men in black are not suppressing alien secrets. They are the aliens. Through the Cold War, men in black presence escalated dramatically. UFO reports from military pilots increased, yet black-suited officials consistently arrived before newspaper reporters, before local authorities, sometimes even before the witnesses themselves had time to process what they saw. Test pilots over Nevada described lights performing maneuvers beyond physics, right-angle turns at impossible speed, ships accelerating from 0 to thousands of miles per hour in silent bursts. Moments later, unknown agents entered secure bases without clearance, demanding silence. Records were replaced with alternate reports of weather balloons or atmospheric mirages. Entire operations were rewritten on paper, while every soldier involved was sworn to secrecy under threat of national security consequences. But if these men in black were U.S. officials, why were identical agents appearing in Britain, Russia, Canada, Chile, South Africa, even in small fishing villages with no military relevance? Their reach extended beyond governments, beyond borders. They behaved like an organization operating above nations, as if they were custodians of Earth itself, restraining information humanity isn't ready for. Then came the cases where their human disguise began to crack. In the 1960s, hotel clerks reported men in black entering lobbies without understanding how doors worked, standing still until a bellboy opened one for them. Others held forks upside down, attempted to drink from salt shakers, or stared at telephones like alien artifacts. Their smiles stretched unnaturally wide, displaying either perfect identical teeth or none at all. Some witnesses said their voices lagged behind their lip movement, like a recording misaligned with the video. One terrifying report involved a man quoting personal details about a witnessed deceased family member that were never shared publicly or even written anywhere. It's as though these beings access information through means beyond documents, beyond technology, beyond humanity. Either they are extraterrestrial intelligence wearing a human mask, or they are biological proxies, organic drones built to enforce silence. But not all theories suggest extraterrestrial origin. Another school of thought believes the men in black are human, highly trained black ops agents working for clandestine defense divisions. Following the Roswell crash, governments allegedly reverse-engineered recovered spacecraft, developing propulsion systems and biological containment units far beyond public science. These men in black may not be suppressing contact. They may be guarding technology we already possess, technology that could collapse global energy industries, military power structures, faith systems, and the global economic balance. In this theory, extraterrestrials are not the threat. Truth is, the men in black serve as gatekeepers, ensuring humanity remains manageable. A world where anti-gravity flight, free energy, and interstellar travel exist cannot be controlled. So instead, we receive small, digestible pieces, satellites, microchips, stealth aircraft, while the real breakthroughs remain sealed deep underground. However, a third possibility is far darker, one often whispered but rarely spoken openly. Some researchers believe the men in black are neither fully human nor fully alien. Instead, they may be hybrid intelligences, biological constructs created through collaboration between governments and non-human entities. This would explain the inconsistencies, human-like appearance, but robotic behavior, access to classified files, but confusion over mundane objects. These agents may be living surveillance systems, organisms built for infiltration, memory extraction, and intimidation. Their skin described as synthetic, their blood reported as white or gelatinous in rare leaked autopsies. Witnesses speak of eyes too reflective, pupils dilating unnaturally, voices layered with two frequencies at once, like something speaking through something else. If this is true, the men in black are a bridge, proof that human and extraterrestrial civilizations are no longer separate. So what does this mean for us? There are two terrifying outcomes. If the men in black are human, then governments worldwide are hiding contact with non-human intelligence, hoarding technology that could change civilization. If the men in black are not human, then an extraterrestrial force controls humanity's knowledge, determining what we see, learn, and believe. In both scenarios, one fact is unavoidable. We are not in control of our own reality. Every sighting, every encounter, every abduction, every crash becomes filtered through an unseen authority. Evidence disappears. Whistleblowers vanish. Witnesses regret speaking out. The world remains stable, predictable, contained, not because it is the truth, but because it is manageable. The men in black are not protecting us from aliens. They may be protecting aliens from us. As we unravel the black threads woven through history, one truth grows undeniable. The men in black are not fiction. They are documented in police reports, military logs, declassified CIA files, sworn testimonies, and thousands of independent accounts across time and geography. They silence not with violence, but with presence, a knock at the door, a cold stare, a warning spoken softly enough to be remembered forever. They do not threaten. They do not need to. Their existence is the threat. And if, one night, you see something in the sky that should not be there, and hours later there's a quiet knock on your door, you will understand what countless witnesses already know. They do not come to ask. They come because you already know too much. In the end, the men in black remain one thing above all, unresolved. A presence without a face, a question without an answer. And maybe that is why their story continues to spread, generation after generation, whispered in hushed voices, shared in late-night conversations, in shadowed corners of the internet, and now here. If this documentary made you think, if even one detail stayed with you, then we ask only one thing: share this video. Share it with someone who questions the world, someone who watches the sky at night, someone unafraid of uncomfortable truths. Because knowledge only stays hidden when we keep quiet, but becomes unstoppable when we pass it on. This is not the end of the mystery. It is the moment it reaches one more mind. Share, discuss, and keep the search alive. The truth waits for those willing to look.